Hey everybody, I'm very glad to be getting to speak to you today. And just to open us up, I'd like to ask you one question. How many of you actually know what OCD truly is? Not just what pop culture shows it as. It's so often in pop culture and media that OCD is shown as a joke or a gag. Someone saying, oh, I'm so OCD, or it's just shown as a cleaning disorder or someone worried about organization, when it's so much more than that. OCD is often misunderstood. Knowing the truth helps you support others, and if you have it, support yourself. Now, I myself have struggled with OCD, and I know many people who have it as well. I'm going to explain the reality of OCD and how it affects people, what the sufferers go through, and how it can be managed. Now, 2.3% of people in the USA live with OCD. Now, that's not a lot, but that also tells us why it's so misunderstood and so overlooked. Now, what are compulsions, intrusive thoughts, and obsessions? Compulsions, as described by OCD-UK, are repetitive acts to prevent harm or gain peace. OCD comes with a lot of overthinking, and to combat this, OCD sufferers will oftentimes do an act that they feel will give them peace. They'll do this repetitively over and over again so that they can, get the thought off their mind. Usually it doesn't work and the thought just comes back stronger. This can be overt, like shown outwardly, something like washing your hands or flicking the light switch on and off multiple times. Or it can be covert, repeating phrases in your head, constantly rechecking your thoughts over and over again. I suffer more with covert, and covert can be a real struggle mentally, as it it's harder to see, it's harder to recognize in people, as opposed to overt, where you can see someone wasting, time, see someone do an action. Now, the more attention that you give these thoughts and these compulsions, the more you do these compulsions, the more that you're going to have the thoughts. So the stronger the thoughts are going to be, and the harder they are to get away from. The more stress-inducing and the more anxious you will get with it. So this moves me to our next point. What are intrusive thoughts? Intrusive thoughts are described as unwanted, persistent, distressing. I like to call them sticky thoughts, thoughts that just will not go away. No matter what you try, no matter how you try to combat them or think about them, try and push them away, they will not go away. Intrusive thoughts help feed obsessions, and they grow stronger the more that you engage with those thoughts. It's just like with compulsions, the more you engage, the more you give into these thoughts, the harder it is to pull yourself from them. And finally, what are obsessions? Obsessions are recurrent fears or doubts that trigger your compulsions. Now, most of the time, you'll get stuck on one subject or obsession. People get stuck with germs. People get stuck with organization. Some people have OCD with relationships, religion. It varies, but usually the obsessions or the intrusive thoughts and the compulsions are all centered around the obsession. Now, examples of this can be fear of germs, harm, sin, moral failure, and etc. There are many different subtypes of OCD. And the subtype really helps really shows you what the sufferer goes through. It can be either mental, like if it's germs, most of the time you can see more overt, like washing hands and different things like that with cleanliness. As with moral sin, or moral OCD or scrupulosity, you see more like worrying about whether something is a sin or not. That's more covert. Now, on to my second point. What do OCD sufferers go through? Definition from PMC. OCD is a chronic illness characterized by uncontrollable recurrent thoughts or obsessions, repetitive behaviors, compulsions, or both. Compulsions can consume hours every day. I've heard of a story where a girl spent 4 hours one time doing her hair in the morning because of compulsion. Now, I've had my experiences with compulsions ruining, vacations and different trips and different experiences for me because I couldn't get them out of my head. I couldn't enjoy what was in front of me and what I was doing. All I could think about were my thoughts, and it ruined multiple vacations for me. It also has a big impact on others. You see others see you suffering, and that produces suffering for them as well. It can be heartbreaking knowing that you're causing pain for someone else. It can also cause isolation and depression. To quote Sage Journals, doubt and OCD typically involves around internal states, morality, motivations, emotions, rather than external facts. It's all an internal worry. So that brings us to how to deal with OCD. Accept your intrusive thoughts. Don't try and reason with them. Don't give them power. Avoid reasoning. Grounding, using something like humor, objects to ground yourself. Going and doing something else, finding something else to do, helps you get your mind off your thoughts. And then sitting with your thoughts and resisting your compulsions. Don't attach meaning to everything. Accept uncertainty. And be kind to yourself. Find a community. Use controlled distraction, and of course, use therapy or medication if that's what you're needing to do. Now, if you're supporting someone, offer accountability and comfort. Don't provide constant reassurance, because that's only going to make everything worse for them. Now, to conclude, OCD involves compulsions, intrusive thoughts, and obsessions. These can be draining and isolating for those suffering. Now, I want to leave you with a challenge. I want to leave you to put one of these tactics that we just talked about into helping someone you know with OCD, or if you yourself suffer with OCD. Put those tactics into use to help them today. Thank you.